Hello good people, my name is Ayo Durojaye and it's a pleasure as usual to know that you've joined me on this video. Now, what I want to talk about today is pressure. Pressure as it concerns the little box we put ourselves in when it comes to the number of books we need to read given a specific timeline. There are people who would often feel pressured when they see that other people who they perceive are in the same situation as them have been able to achieve a number of books. They've been able to finish whatever reading goals those people have. Unfortunately, the people who are feeling pressured are unable to do what they set out to do. Now, I meant to tell you that there's no reason to feel such pressure. It makes no sense, especially as reading is supposed to be something you enjoy. It's something you're supposed to feel every step of the way. But the moment it begins to feel like it's a chore, the moment it begins to feel like it's an assignment that you need to finish in a given time, it begins to take away from the fun of it. Don't get me wrong, you can discipline yourself, especially as if you know that you get distracted easily, if you know that you're the type of person who would get carried away with other things, and so you want to put a timeline to what you are doing. Cool. But even as you're setting that timeline to discipline yourself, you need to also cut yourself some slack, right? It's pointless when you're forcing yourself to flip those pages and you're not feeling them, but you just keep going so that you can, at the end of the day, say you finished that one book. It makes no sense. So cool down, right? I personally am one who would say, if you're not feeling that book, close that page. If you're not feeling it, it makes no sense to just keep going, right? So one thing to also help with that pressure is to fully understand the context in which you're doing your own reading or setting your own reading goals as against the context of those other people that you're feeling intimidated by. So you have a job, for example, and you have you want to finish about 5 books at the end of the month. Somebody you are comparing yourself with probably is what do they call them? Is self-employed, is probably an entrepreneur, and so sometimes they have enough time in their hands to say, for example, have the whole day where they're just reading, and you don't have such things. In fact, your weekends are fully booked. It would be unrealistic to have such comparison with them. Alright, so if you're going to set such goals, if you're going to want to watch how far you've gone by considering what other people are doing, ensure that they're in the same boat as you. And finally, I would say that once again, I'll reiterate that it makes no sense to feel pressure. It makes no sense. Yes, set goals. It keeps you disciplined, like I said earlier on, but be realistic with it. If last year you were only able to read, say, 10 books the entire 365 days, and because you saw that other people are saying they've been able to read 80 books, you want to push that forward to say 50 books this year, that may be slightly unrealistic. So keep it strictly realistic. Yes, you can be ambitious, but set that along the lines of what you're going to be doing with your spare time as well. If you go to work from 8 a.m. to say 6 p.m., and so you have just a few hours to prepare for dinner, and so you're going to work the next day before 8. Set realistic goals and keep it fun, keep it spicy, keep it funky. It is no longer that experience if it's getting irritating, if it's getting frustrating. Okay? But to also achieve all this, you can find a way of setting your reading time into other things you're doing. For example, your lunch break at work, as you're having lunch, you can just have that book handy. It could be the PDF format, right? It could be the electronic copy, and you're reading as you're eating. Or, you have one of those days where you're stooling, and so you're at the toilet most of the day, even while at work. You can have, I feel like that's why I love electronic copies of books so much, because you carry them along with you. But even if you don't have the electronic copy, nobody's going to stop you from taking your book to the toilet. I said it. It's the new fashion item, to the toilet. All right, guys, thank you so much for sticking with me. Don't forget to like our social media pages all across all the platforms, right? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, of course our YouTube. Subscribe, please. I love you. My name is Ayo Durojai, and this is Breeders Club with Ayo.